Hey, Mortgage Coach members, Dave Savage. And today I am interviewing Ryan Berry. What's up, Ryan?
Dave, how are you, bud? Good to be with you.
I'm doing good, bud.
Great.
So I am pumped to be interviewing you. I think it was just earlier this year that you started using Mortgage Coach.
Yeah.
So I love interviews like this where you've been doing the mortgage business for a long time and now you're on the Mortgage Coach team.
Yes.
If you could tell everybody what market you're in and a little bit about your mortgage practice, and then I'll hit you with some questions.
Sure. So I'm in New Jersey. Primarily the North Jersey market is where I focus, and that's kind of the market I focus most of my business in. A little bit in New York, but not so much. So New Jersey is really primarily where I focus.
And what kind of production do you do?
So I did a little over 60 million last year. Probably be on pace to do that or greater this year.
How many families are you serving to get that 60 million?
I would say between 160 and 180 a year.
Right on. Well, hey, congrats on the success. That's
Thank you.
Production. How many realtors are you working with? Think about your realtor partners. How many are helping you do that kind of business?
I would say at least 50. I have a pretty big pool of agents. Could be more, some one-offs, but some 2, 3s, probably 30 to 50 really, really solid referral partners that I can rely on business from each and every year.
And how many are you adding annually? How many new agents are coming into the fold?
Yeah. My goal is always to try and pick up 5 to 10 real solid agents, each year. So that's always kind of what I focus on, a realistic goal.
Got it. And then from a past client perspective, how many past client loans are you doing, or, what is your strategy to get? I'm trying to go through your lead sources. It sounds like it's realtors, past customers. What percentage of your volume comes from past customers?
I'd say about 10 to 15% is past customer. The other, 75, 85% or so would come from realtors, attorneys, some financial planners, and so on.
Got it. So really, those are your 3 channels: realtors, past customers, and then some attorneys and financial advisors.
That's right. Yep.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about why you started using Mortgage Coach, because you've known about it for a long time.
Sure.
Steve Grossman and Patrick over there, kill it with Mortgage Coach.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll say, I have to thank you for coming out earlier this year to kind of push me. I actually, embarrassed to say, I paid, it was good for you, but I paid for the product for a year and never even tried to use it. And, you came out earlier in the year in January and you sat with a group of us and, we kind of went over the benefits of Mortgage Coach. And, I really took the time at that point in the year to embrace it and to learn it. And it didn't take me really, really long to learn it either. But, one of the main reasons why I wanted to make a change, and I kind of put a business plan together each year, one of the things I wanted to do is, adopt the new technology. Everyone's kind of moving to technology, whether it be videos or, what have you. And this is one of the things that I said, I'm going to take the time and learn it and really adopt it into my process. And I'm really glad I did.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you did too, or we wouldn't have you as a success story. Yeah. But there's a why. Obviously I was there in person.
Yep.
You had people in your office that have success, but there was something personal for you. Because I've noticed whether it's Adoption CRM, anytime a loan officer has to change their habits and adopt something new, there's kind of a why. What was your personal why that you
one of my personal whys, so I'm, as we kind of touched on to start the call here, is I'm very focused on driving new realtor relationships. And one of the reasons why I wanted to, take on this new technology was to have the ability to go out to my real estate partners, my offices, and attend meetings and show them, hey, I'm changing my business, the way I do things. I'm looking to, provide more transparent information to your clients, on a high level. Technology is tremendous in that you offer. And so that was one of my whys was, I have to make a little bit of a change here to try and grow a little more than I have so far. And, so that was one of my whys. The second was the previous illustrations I was using. It was very clear and concise. It's a 1-page kind of overview of estimated costs and, purchase price, down payment. And just I'll back up one step. So you understand how I kind of use the Mortgage Coach. Every person I pre-approve gets a Mortgage Coach illustration at pre-approval stage. And I was kind of using a previous illustration that was very simple. The problem with the previous illustration I was using was you can only show one option. And so if someone wanted to see, 20% down, 15%, 10%, it took me a good 20 to 30 minutes to build out 2 or 3 different illustrations. The Mortgage Coach, it takes me minutes to do 2 or 3. So on the other side of things, one of my other whys was I need to become more efficient in what I do every day and provide my clients with, more options in a more efficient way and, save myself some time to continue to go out and prospect.
So hearing you netting that out, it was you felt that it would help you with realtors if you improved your consumer experience.
Yep.
And you showed current partners and new partners that, hey, I realize customers have changed. And let's face it, for most home buyers, it's Zillow, Redfin. They want modern technology, and you wanted to deliver that. And then you knew that it would save you time. And so it was like, hey, if I could save time and improve experience, I'm in.
It was the perfect marriage, definitely.
Yeah. So how are you using Mortgage Coach? You mentioned every pre-approval gets it.
Yep.
Whenever I do these interviews, I'm trying to do an inspirational story, because, by the way, that's part of what got you on Mortgage Coach.
Sure.
Other people in your office were inspirational stories. And then I like to do tactics. I'm even going to put you on the spot and get a script before this is over. So are you doing the total cost analysis? Do you have a team member doing it? Get us tactical around how you get this to the pre-approved borrower.
Sure. So I'm directly handling it. And the way that I get it to the borrower is I collect all of the borrower's information, the prospect's information in advance of having an actual detailed call with them. So they'll complete an online application, provide their financial records, and then I set up a call. And in that call, I build out the link and send the link to them. And then we go through the live feature, which, by the way, that's where I get the most compliments on the technology, is to be able to take over the screen and kind of illustrate and pinpoint certain things, certain details of the illustration to the consumer is extremely powerful. I can't tell you many people that get off my call with them that don't pay me a compliment for that technology. So that's kind of how I utilize it. And, one of the things I can tell you also that I'm experiencing since I started using Mortgage Coach is I have very few conversations with people about a loan estimate when we send the mortgage package. And I'm directly attributing that to me walking through all the costs with the consumer at pre-approval using the live feature. So the funny thing is what I'll see, and of course, as the other technology component is when the consumer clicks on your link, we can see they're viewing it. We can see how long they're viewing it for. And what I'm finding is when I send the mortgage disclosure packages out, I can see they're viewing the link. And what I'm guessing is that they're going back to look at the costs and they're comparing the cost to what we're disclosing. And our costs are lined up to the way our disclosures are sent. So back to the time savings is I'm not having to go over loan estimates with people when I'm sending disclosures because I'm taking 5 minutes to go through the illustration that the Mortgage Coach presents and using the live feature to kind of go through every line item with them by highlighting it to draw their attention to it, to help them understand each and every individual cost.
Love that. So, and by the way, everyone watching this, if you're not giving every family that consistent experience, you're losing two things. One, you're not wowing every customer. Yeah. And two, you're not getting great at it. One of the reasons why Ryan's gotten so good at it and it's saving him time because he does it all the time. Yeah. So you're getting good at it. You're going to be even better at it next year. Yeah. So wow experience. Do you think it's improving your conversion? Like your lead to borrower conversion? It sounds like it might be saving you a conversation or two.
Yes, definitely. I can say that I can attribute 3 to 5 deals that I've won just because of the presentation itself, where I've had the same rate as another bank, same fees, but they said, you know what? You were very transparent. You were clear in the delivery of your message. You provided the illustrations. You set the right expectation for us. And we feel really comfortable that professionalism will continue through the process. So we're going to use you. I had direct conversations with people just that way to win business over the illustrations that I've, walked them through on the edge.
Love that. So one script and then one more sales strategy question. Mm-hmm. Give me the scripting of what you say to the borrower when you give them the link. So when they click on it and they have an expectation. So just give us like the 1 minute soundbite of how you describe Mortgage Coach before you actually deliver it to them.
Yeah. So, when I'm doing the live, it's different. I've had instances where I'll complete a call. Someone didn't have the time to go through the link with me on the phone. I've actually created templates, a Microsoft template that says, here's a link that you can use to access, the purchase scenarios that we've discussed. And I kind of walk them through, hey, click the more info tab to access the breakdown of the closing costs. So I pretty much built out a template to kind of walk them through how to get to the information that we've discussed on a call. But it's simple. When I'm on the phone with them, I'm walking them through each and every step of what we're covering, and they're just kind of following along with me. So it's, the mortgage coach, it's a tremendous tool. I think ultimately the templates do save me some time when I'm sending out the information and don't have the ability to go through the information with the people on the phone.
Now, do you call it a total cost analysis? What do you call it to the borrower? What is the term for them?
Yeah, I don't get too technical. I just tell them, I say, here's a link I built out so that you can, view the purchase scenarios we discussed and the overall total costs associated with the home buying process. I try and use layman's terms to direct them to the link, and then kind of get a little more technical with, hey, here's how you see the breakdown of the cost. Click the more info. I kind of walk them through, holding their hand through the template I've created, walk them through, hey, this is how you get to the information you want to take a look at if you don't have me on the phone.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right, let's transition. So better borrower experience, getting wows, less follow-up conversations, faster sales cycles. Love it. Mm-hmm. Hopefully less price exceptions. Realtors, how are you bringing it to an agent?
Yep.
And when are you bringing it to an agent, and how are you using that as a production building tool?
Sure. So, as I touched on when we started the call, is one of the things the first thing I did after, I adopted the technology and you left the office is, I needed something fresh to bring to the real estate offices. And what I did was I built out a purchase scenario, a link with 3 different purchase options, and showed kind of, hey, here's where rates are today. Here's where they may be in 6 months from now. Here's where they may be in a year from now, and kind of showing the difference in, purchase power a consumer can expect to either lose or gain. But ultimately I did that because I wanted to kind of engage them. So I sent the link to all the agents, and I stood in front of a room of 50 people, and I did this in multiple real estate offices. And I said, this is the new technology that I've taken on. It's tremendous. It's going to help your client understand their total expected costs. It's going to help them understand the different options that they have available to them, different down payment options, and so on. And I said, this is ultimately what you're going to be seeing from me once I completely pre-approve your client. So what I always do, and what I've always done since the day I started in this industry, is if I'm referred a client by a realtor, once I complete the pre-approval, I always send illustrations. And those illustrations that I send to the consumer were always then forwarded to the realtor to say, hey, I connected with the Joneses. They're ready to go. They're pre-approved. Here's the purchase scenario that we talked about. Let me know if you have any questions. So knowing that I was going to start sending them this new technology, I had to teach them how to use it. So that's kind of what I did. Is I hit the offices. I told them, pull out your phones, download the app. You're going to want to see this information on the go. You're not always going to be in front of your computer. So take a minute to download the free app. That's how you're going to be able to see the different, purchase scenarios that I talked to your client about that they're approved for. And they really all, pretty much gravitated toward it. So it was a really good opportunity for me to kind of get back in front of my agents, kind of re-engage with some of the people that I hadn't been getting business from. In fact, I left one of the meetings and got leads from 2 agents that I hadn't worked with in over a year. So, I think for that alone, it was worth it, right? I got 2 deals out of it just because I showed that, hey, I'm investing in my business and I'm investing in, the client experience for the people that you're referring to me. And I think it was a real powerful message to deliver to them.
I love that. And I hope everybody took note of that. It's super simple. It's just like, hey, I'm upgrading the way I communicate, deliver transparency. This is going to be valuable to you. Let me walk you through it. Do you ever use like the cost of waiting analysis or a rent versus own, anything that creates urgency in the sales process?
I haven't really gotten into that aspect of it. I try and keep it very simple. A lot of people are, they don't want too much, my opinion in certain cases, they don't want too much information. They want just enough, right? Especially at pre-approval. I'm covering a lot of details with them. Rent versus own in this market, I don't really need to run through those comparison tools in North Jersey. People want to buy a house, they're buying a house. They don't have to be swayed into, is it better for me to rent versus buy? Maybe in the price point. I work in a lot of jumbo markets and high balance markets. So those, that client base, I don't really find that they're really looking for that comparison. So I haven't really taken the time to adopt that, component of it yet. So I kind of just keep it simple and stick to, showing multiple illustrations.
Yeah. Hey, insurance market. I do recommend, since a lot of loan officers are watching this, the 3 scenarios you want to have locked and loaded as part of your realtor education is a rent versus own, a cost of waiting, and a purchase power scenario. Mm-hmm. And then to your point, tailor it, don't fire hose them. It's it's not even about the technology. It's about the experience.
Understood.
And it's about, hey, realtor, I'm going to help your borrowers go from confusion to clarity, fast, and I'm going to do it in a way that's efficient for you.
Yeah.
So let's kind of do wrap up mode. A lot of loan officers are like you. You're super busy, adopting new technology and stuff. You obviously got over the hurdle. So it sounds like your formula for success was you got clear on the why, like this is why I should do it. And then what? Like how long did it take you to go from, you know what, I'm going to do this thing to I'm doing this thing? Give some advice on that.
It was quick. I mean, really, it was quick. Once I made the decision in my head to make the change, which was really when you left the office in January, and one of the things that was powerful is you said, you know what, if you're going to do this, I'll assign someone to you. Let's get you locked and loaded at the time. So it's a tough thing to go back to your rent first own, just to kind of go backward for a second. I've stuck to the basics of the system because I went through a transition with having my assistant of 7 years leave me, for another opportunity. And I took on a new assistant. So I've kind of stuck to the basics of the system, learning it, adopting it. So it was really instant. It was, you left, I think we were engaged in a week or two with learning, the software and all the functionality. And that was it, locked and loaded. Every person I spoke to there from there on out was getting an edge illustration. Even in the beginning, I was telling people, I don't even have to ask anymore because I know the answer. But in the beginning, I was telling people, listen, I just invested in this new technology. Give me your thoughts. Give me your feedback. Tell me about, how user-friendly you feel it is when I was sending links off to them. And I was getting nothing but positive, responses from everybody. So I knew at that time that, this is it. This is the right direction for me to go in with how I'm going to, provide information to the prospects that I'm working with.
I love it. So first of all, if you got value, everybody watching this, like it. Let us know that, hey, I got value. I like it. Share it, share it from YouTube, share it from Facebook with your mortgage friends. So, hey, Ryan, I super appreciate this. I'm also going to put a couple links down below. One to the Mortgage Coach lead conversion playbook, because I'm hearing tons of value and I'm hearing that rate shopping is up in a lot of markets. So I'm putting a link to the lead conversion playbook. Also, I did a couple interviews and I think I might have referred them to you with John Downs, $100 million producer. It was, one of the interviews was 45 days after he started using it. Mm-hmm. Really good, use technology. And then one of the interviews was, how did him and his team implement Mortgage Coach? So I'm going to put those down below too, because here's my takeaway. You're an obviously very successful mortgage professional. You're serious about what you're doing. You deliver this great in-person, high-touch experience, but you've decided, I got to be high-touch and I got to be high-tech. Mm-hmm. And you made the digital transition. So congratulations, my friend.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, thanks for taking time to give value to our community and to play it forward. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And, always great to be with you.
Yeah, and let me know what myself and the Mortgage Coach team can do to help.
Yeah, greatly appreciate it, Dave.
All right, take care.
Thanks, you too.
Last thing, anybody watching this, if you want more on Mortgage Coach, there'll be a link down below. If you want a demo, click the link down below or go to our website. Take care, everybody. Take care, Ryan.
Take care, Dave.